1 mark. It was 102.98. It is still 102.98.
Oh, boy.
Miller splits.
No! My goodness.
LaMelo quickly the other way. Finds Brandon Miller. That was just heads-up hustle. Wide open. Hornets just daring to shoot. Maybe got in his head.
I think T-John thought it was going up sooner than it did.
LaMelo finds Brandon. Half court.
McDaniels firing short. Conley incensed there was no foul call as Miller punched it.
Tatum missed everything. Brandon Miller throws it down on top of Tatum. Welcome back, B-Mill.
Ball to Miller, elevates and stuffs it down.
Kid got more athletic in the offseason, man. He had a monster dunk.
So did the Knicks. Brandon Miller! Two-handed tomahawk. Wow. Brandon rises on top of Fontecchio. 6 feet even, 189 pounds. Played 3 years at Colorado. There you go, Brandon Miller. He was tremendous in the back-to-back wins over Cleveland last couple of days. Miller leans in on Trae Young. Very patient.
Miller downhill, hitting the brakes and hitting the fadeaway.
He's in center right now, banging with Mark Williams. Brandon, so smooth.
No doubt, yeah, he has that ability.
Clear number one option offensively is the guy with the ball. Brandon Miller. High up the window, and he's fouled. That was against one of the best defenders in the NBA, and Jonathan Isaac.
23-point game against Brooklyn. He got upended, headed to the locker room. They checked him for concussion protocol, came back to hit the winner. That jumper is good.
Which they talked about that. You've got to cut. It makes the defense react.
Miller goes inside and puts it in and draws a foul.
Best row when Maxey was out of the lineup. He had plenty of shots on the floor, did McCain.
Brandon, very patient, was waiting for Mark Williams, decided to take it himself.
Purdue head coach Charles Lee. Surprised that he's in the game, though.
Brandon Miller, a tough shot and a foul on Anthony Black.
5 seconds left. Brandon Miller trying to force something up. Patrick staying in front. Challenges. Difficult shot by Brandon Miller with 1/10 of a second to go.
Shot clock at 8. Just about 3 minutes gone by in the third.
Tell the difference in the defense. The activity.
Miller floats it in. Need wins to stay in contention. Currently a 2-point lead for Charlotte. Miller, tough delivery to open up the fourth. With 3:48 left, the Nets led at that point by 1. Currently up by 5. They go long to Miller. Miller, cross, drive, floater. He's got it.
I think Goga's presence got in his head. Brandon Miller knocks down a 3. 15-25 tonight. Miller at the horn, gets it to go. Brandon Miller somehow drops it in. I'll get it around to Micic.
They're doing a good job on Miller denying, but he has it now.
Catch and shoot. That's good for Brandon Miller.
Bridges whips it back out to Williams. Never caught it cleanly. Has to give it up. That's a pretty good option. Gives it up to Brandon Miller. But some of the greatest players in the history of the game were drafted 15th. Oh, Brandon Miller! Woo, that was sweet.
We're bringing lunch boxes on the plane on our travels.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's a great point.
We're eating right this season. Brandon Miller beyond the arc.
And in blue paint, need some help. Miller launching and connecting. Brandon Miller.
Ball off the pick is open as Van Fleet fell down, passed up to 3, gives it over to Miller, who drills it.
Finney Smith defending man, bounce it. Miller, deep one goes. Brandon Miller with a downtown hit.
We got one shot up. Yeah, it really hadn't been a factor.
That's close to automatic these days. That the NBA came calling again.
Yeah, I think because of the Olympics that he had, really is why he got a chance to resurrect his career. Brandon Miller.
He's missed all of his two-point shots, but he gets credit for that one. Brandon Miller, his third three-pointer.
He's figured out.
Ball goes and gets it. Nearly ran out of airspace. He'll dump it back to Miller. Miller's watched by LeVert. Brandon Miller gives the Hornets the lead.
Beat Krejci into the game. Out of the Czech Republic is Krejci.
Exactly that. He said we really want to be directional in the way we're playing basketball. That's important to us. I said, what do you want to see more of offensively?
9-0 run. Simmons now with 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Miller, connection from 3.
It's a three-point play the unconventional way. Miller, all of a sudden, has caught fire.
They're daring him to. Still plenty of time. 5 on the shot clock. That's what I'm talking about. Here come your Hornets. Miller. Yes! Hum-diddly-dee! But he's got 10 rebounds. That's a man's man right there. Yes! Number 24! Never sits during a game.
Wearing out those sneakers.
Brandon gets it back. Shot clock doesn't reset. Someone's got to fire. Oh, my! Skip pass to Miller. Throw him into rhythm. Another three for 24. That would have given New York the lead. Instead, Brandon Miller racks it on the other end. He made 5 consecutive threes. LaMelo finds Brandon Miller. He reminds me, with the same body type and hair, of Henry Bibby. Oh, remember Henry Bibby?
Yeah.
Wow. Mobley was on the floor at Dallas.
Like I say, just dominant every night, both ends of the floor.
Williams hands off to Miller. That's a drifting three. It's true.
His numbers may indicate he's 6'6", 236. Miller lets it fly. That's a 3. Short. Uncontested rebound for Bridges. Nets are down 15. Floater goes. Nets are down 17. Brandon Miller, 69% from three-point range. Miller's pass deflected, comes back to him, hangs in there and massages it in.
So
Miller connects for 3. So that's a 5-point swing.
When you have good offensive players, they have a hard time cutting if they don't get the ball.
Just over a minute to play. It's a 2-possession lead. There's Miller again.
They want the ball in the hands of Brandon Miller. We told you in the open how explosive he's been lately.
He's got 32 field goal attempts tonight, had 38 attempts at Milwaukee in his 50-point game. That's a 3 for Brandon Miller. He kissed it goodbye and let it fly.
Miller from the wing. Brandon Miller cuts the lead to 2.
Uh-oh, Giannis didn't see coming from behind. That's Martin who got him. Cody Martin who's checked in. And look at the high-flying Brandon Miller.
Interesting substitution. At the scores table, Isaiah Wong has never played as a Hornet. Miller. Okay, 3-pointer for Brandon.
Miller takes it away. So when his teammates got to communicate with him.
Whoever Melo's covering, he's got to say something because he just left you. Ooh.
Brandon Miller crashing in.
Somehow missed it. Ooh. He says he was fouled.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knew exactly where he was.
All right, this time the law works. Brandon Miller. Miller. Ira switches out on him. 3-pointer for Brandon.
Bam Adebayo knew bad things were about to happen.
Shot clock's down to 2. How about that? Oh, that's some chicken salad. Miller in the corner. That is a huge shot. What a big one by Brandon Miller. Brandon swirls it through.
Confusion.
Lowry forces the Hornets to reset. Whoa! Brandon Miller from 28 feet. Brandon's open. Got it! Hum-diddly-dee! Hornets are in the bonus. Miller! Got it! And the Hornets win the race to 100! Not a dribble, though. Good luck.